Okay, welcome to Bhakti Steps. We are going to read from Bhagavad Gita where we left, that is 14th chapter. Before that, we will chant these prayers. You can repeat after me. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-Jana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuktapadakamam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jalapate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sadevi Pranami Haripriye Vancha Kalpurvesha Kripa Sindhu Vaja Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we were in the 14th chapter and we had finished some 19 verses. Today we'll continue with the 20th verse. So in this particular chapter the three modes of material nature are described. So yeah. So these are Krishna's energies, Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, and they basically bind us. Okay, our body is influenced by these three modes: Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. We see that Sattvagun is pure, Rajas is born of unlimited desires, Tamas is ignorant. So in Sattva, one is alert, one knows things how they are. In Rajas, one is simply in action, doing something. In Tamas, one is doing things which he should not do. So Sattva brings us happiness, Rajas brings us misery, Tamas brings out madness. And then every other element in this world is exhibiting these three modes. If we take anything, music, food, um, any activity, it is one of the three things, or it's a mix of them. Okay, so we have to use them in for our benefit. That is one way to look at it. And second thing is what we cannot use at all, that is also there, that also we understand by understanding this knowledge. We'll go through this whole section once more, but we were in the 20th verse. Okay. When the embodied being is being able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he becomes free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So, so if one can transcend these three modes, basically the three modes, if one is able to overcome, then he becomes free from birth, age, old age, disease. That is moksha. He achieves loksha, and within this life only he starts enjoying nectar. How does this happen? So, in the 26th verse, we are going to read, but I just tell you how it happens. One who engages in pure devotion, in a full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature, and this comes to the level of Brahman. So, by devotional service only. Yo Mamcho yo vebicharena bhakti yogana sevate. In bhakti yoga, when one does seva, Sa gunan samitetan, then he can overcome the gunas. So the power is only with the bhakti yoga. So the sages, Rishi Munis, they understood this thing and therefore they engaged themselves in bhakti yoga. And that's how they overcome gunas. Okay, that is the answer. Now, 21st verse, Arjuna interestingly asks certain questions. Oh my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known? How it is known whether one has transcended the three modes or not? That is what he is asking. What are the symptoms? What is the behavior? What is the process? He wants to know the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material modes. Can someone read this section? Can someone read this translation?
Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friends and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature.
Yeah. So the two things Arjuna asked: symptoms and behavior. So in the case of symptoms, is that when the first is when he does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion, where when they are present or long for them when they disappear. This is the symptom. Who is unwavering, disturbed, and all this section is the behavior, how he behaves. Okay. Okay. Arjuna submits three different questions and Lord answers them one after the other. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that the person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. So that's the first point. He doesn't have any envy. Envy means what? Envy means Irsha. Irsha means,
किसी
yeah,
को देख के जलना प्रभु जी।
yeah, जलना. क्यों जलते हैं?
किसी का मतलब डेवलप देखकर मतलब टॉलरेट नहीं कर पाते कि वो ऊपर चला गया हम लोग नीचे रह गए।
हाँ, हम नीचे गए. उसको क्यों मिला, मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला? Sorry.
हाँ
Right? Why he got, why I didn't get? That is envy. So someone who is above envy, someone who's above envy, and he does not hanker for anything. Hanker means to go after something. Anything that is material, he is not hankering so much, or he is not at all hankering. Such a person is above the three modes. See, what the three modes give is, in the passion and ignorance, you develop envy. In passion, ignorance, more and goodness, you develop hankering also. In goodness, you hanker for good things. In passion, you definitely hanker. I want this. In ignorance, you hanker for something which you should not have. Okay, so when this envy goes away from the heart and we are not hankering looking out anywhere, when we are looking within, such a person is above the three modes. That is the symptom. Okay, now can you give me examples from the Shastras? Can you give me examples from the Shastra?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, हिरण्यकश्यपु जो मतलब उसको क्यों भगवान नहीं मानते और भगवान को मतलब
Yeah,
स्पेशली
yeah,
वो
he
चाहता था
was
कि
envy.
उसको
उनको ईर्ष्या थी, right?
हाँ
पर मैं बोल रहा हूँ, give example of someone who is not envy and he does not hanker for anyone, anything. Who was the son of Hiranyakashipu?
प्रहलाद
Yeah. So Prahlad was like that. He didn't envy anybody. He didn't envy his father also, right? He didn't say to his father, I want your throne or I want this, why you are the king, I should be the king. To his father, he said, you are the best of the asuras. And does not hanker for anything. Did Prahlad Maharaj go after anything? No. Right? So he was above the three modes. That is one example. Any other example? Prahlad Maharaj is one. Sukhdev Goswami. Sukhdev Goswami didn't even wear clothes. Right? So once he was going through one kingdom and the king wanted to test him. Then what happened is he placed sugar on his tongue. He placed sugar on his tongue. And after some time, he saw that the sugar is still there on the tongue. He has not eaten it. So even he didn't had hankering for sugar also, which is put in his tongue, just hold on. Papa, actually the ghee wala has come. The ghee wala. Ghee wala? Yes, come and buy those. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Okay. So second example was Sukhdev Goswami, who had no envy for anyone. He didn't even wear clothes. Okay, and then he was tested whether he's attracted to sugar also. If sugar is placed on our tongue, what will we do? We'll eat it up, right? But Sukhdev Goswami was so controlled that he didn't even eat that sugar. Um, so like that, okay. So such people, such devotees, they are above the three modes. When a living entity stays in this material world, embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the three modes of material nature. but he's actually out of the body, and then he's out of the clutches of material modes. But as long as he's not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in devotional service of the Lord, so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body, and he does not accept the dictation of the material body. The qualities of material body, material modes in the body will act, but as a spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activity. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendent situated, a devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. Can someone read this section? The next question.
Yes, Prabhu, I can.
Hmm.
The next question concerns the dealing of a transcendently situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body. But the transcendently situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness. And he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of a temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated.
Okay. So we discussed about symptoms. Now the behavior is that when honor and dishonor is given, he is not disturbed by it. Whether he's honored or dishonored, he is not disturbed by it. Okay. He connects everything to Krishna, and he sees equally everyone. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his sake. He doesn't attempt for himself, but he attempts for Krishna. Okay, when we attempt for Krishna, it is like we are activity, we are action. Still, we are above the three modes. Why? Because we are doing it on behalf of Krishna. Just like a soldier, if he kills on behalf of the government, is he liable for the killing? No, he's not liable for the killing because he did it on the order of the king, order of the government, right? Which are higher authorities. Similarly, when we do things for Krishna, then also we are transcendental situated. Interesting, right? So one may think I should not do anything. That is also wrong. Like Prahlad Maharaj, at that time he didn't do anything. Later, when he became the king, he was doing so many things for Krishna, and that is also being transcendentally situated. Okay, 26th verse. This is a very important verse. One who engages in full devotion service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So, I told you that Krishna says here that if one is doing pure devotion service, unfailing, without failure, without interruption, in all circumstances, he transcends the material modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Brahman is a spiritual level. Okay, Brahman is a spiritual level. This verse is replied to Arjuna's third question, what it means to be attaining the transcendent position. As explained before, the material world is acting under the spell of modes of material nature. One should not One should not be disturbed by the activities or the modes of nature. Instead of putting his consciousness in such activity, he may transfer his consciousness to Krishna activities. Krishna activities are known as Bhakti Yoga, always acting for Krishna. This includes not only Krishna but his plenary expansions such as Rama, Narayana, Narsimha, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, everyone. He has innumerable expansions. One who is engaged in the service of any of the forms of Krishna or his plenary expansions is considered to be transcendentally situated. So, if we are engaged in the devotional service and acting for Krishna, whatever we do, whatever we eat, when we do it for Krishna, we are transcendentally situated. We are above the three modes. Now, I'll take one example to explain. In the 17th chapter, we are going to read something about the food. Now, let me go there. So, this food in mode of goodness is juicy, fatty, wholesome, pleasing to heart, increases longevity, purifies existence, gives strength, health, happiness, satisfaction. Right? It is wholesome, pure, obtained without difficulty. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam. This we are going to read in the 17th chapter. Now, food in the mode of passion is bitter, sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning, causes distress, misery, diseases. Can you tell me some of the food which falls in the mode of passion? Name. Can you name?
Burgers, pizza.
Yes, burgers, pizza. Anything more? Hot,
Noodles.
sour, salty.
There's Chinese noodles, bro.
Chinese noodles. Chili, where there is a lot of chili also. No? It does. And what is the misery that you get out of it? Do you get any misery by eating those hot?
Stomach upset, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the next day the problem starts, right? Next day there's a misery. Or, while eating also there's a misery. Right? While eating is also a misery. Why? It is so hot. Hot means not temperature. It is like burning in the mouth. But still, one wants to eat it. So they'll eat it with a lot of water or soda. Right? And the next day there will be a problem. There is a misery. Do diseases happen? Upset stomach, food poisoning, right? These all happens. Distress. While eating also there is a distress. Okay. So that is, you get, when you eat food which are in mode of passion, you will definitely get miseries. They may give immediate pleasure to the senses, but it will be followed by distress. Some problem will be there. Okay. Now, food in mode of ignorance, old, over 3 hours, tasteless, decomposed, putrid, consisting of remnants, untouchable things, unclean, and causes distress. Can you tell me some food which are in mode of ignorance? Tamas.
Alcohol, Prabhuji.
Alcohol, yes. How is alcohol made?
By decomposing
Grapes.
grapes.
So grapes are, I think the juice of the grapes are first, from the grapes the juice is made. Okay, and then something more is maybe added or whatever.
Prabhu, then they will boil it.
Okay, they'll boil it, whatever.
And then they will maintain for 15 to 20 days.
Okay, in some cases it will be years also. Wine and all that. Such thing when drunk, what happens? You become a drunkard. What is the symptom of a drunkard?
Loss of senses, bro.
He's lost all senses. So can you tell me, has anyone seen a drunkard? Can you tell me what happens? Can the
Can you
drunkard
control the
walk
body?
in a straight line?
No.
No, right? And he falls wherever, and he thinks that is the best place. Even if he falls in a gutter or a garbage, he thinks this is the best place. So that is kind of madness. So madness comes into him, right? So the result of food eaten in tamas is madness. Okay. Any other food which you want to mention here in tamas?
Prabhu, mushroom.
Mushroom, right? Mushroom is grown in tamas. Mushroom is grown in tamas. Yeah, it's grown in dark, damp condition. Yeah, it increases the ignorance. That is there. It increases ignorance. But I would say not immediately, over a period of time. Yes, but yeah, for spiritualists, it is to be avoided. Anything else?
Prabhuji, garlic, chilies.
Garlic chilies and mode of passion. So they will cause distress. Onion. If in your past you had ever cut a onion, what happens? What is the first distress, even before eating?
Will cry.
Tears,
Tears
tears,
come in eyes, right? Tears
Yes.
come in eyes. So the onion is already telling you tears will come in eyes. What to speak of eating? Okay, okay. Anything more in more any food which is in mode of ignorance? Decomposed. We talked about wine and but that is fermentation. But yeah, decomposed. What is that thing that gets decomposed immediately? Non-veg food, flesh of the animal. The moment it is killed, right, it starts decomposing. The body starts decomposing. Yes or no? So what do? Fish, when they kill the fish, when they kill the chicken, the goat, what do? It starts decomposing, right?
They put on ice. Prabhu.
Yes, they put in ice and salt.
Even dead body also on that.
Yeah. Otherwise, what will happen? It will smell badly, right? So such food also is unclean. It will cause distress. What kind of distress will this food cause? Can you tell me? Non-veg food. What kind of distress will it cause? What kind of cancer happens when one eats raw meat? You heard about this colon cancer? Have you heard about colon cancer?
No, Prabhu.
That's one cancer that gets caused when one eats a lot of raw meat over a long period of time. That the colon, where our feces come out, that part cancer grows. Bad cells grow, and person dies after that. So our body is not made to eat non-veg food. Can you scientifically tell why?
We have a small teeth, Prabhu.
Okay, fine. Teeth is fine. Yes, teeth is one answer. We don't have the similar teeth like non-vegetarian animals. Sorry, carnivorous animals. Like lion and tiger, definitely. Any other reason?
डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए प्रॉब्लम होगा ना प्रभु जी, मेन तो रीजन वही है ना.
No, our stomach has chemicals which digest. See, so many people eat meat, right? What is a very strong reason? Teeth is one reason, yes. Any other strong reason? If you compare with animals, there is another thing that doesn't match. If you compare with animals, have you heard about it? Intestine.
प्रभु इंटेस्टाइन प्रभु.
Yeah. How big is our intestine? Very big. Pura, meters long. Small intestine, long, big intestine. But do you know the intestine of a lion, how big it is? Very small. Why? Because if you are going to put decomposed food in your body, sorry, a food which is getting decomposed at a very faster rate, you don't want to keep it in the body for a long time. You want to get it out, in and out, right? So therefore, non-vegetarian food is not to be meant to be in the body for a long time. So therefore, bodies of carnivorous animals where the intestine is very small in length. Ours is very big. It is similar to cows and it is similar to goats. They also are vegetarians, right? So their intestine is also very pretty long. But ours doesn't match with the lion and tiger and dog or fox because those intestines are small. If anything decomposed in the body, right, then it hurts the body more. A decomposed thing will smell, will become bad. फेंकना पड़ता है ना. If anything decomposes, we have to throw it away, right? So no, खराब हो गया तो फेंकना
Yes,
पड़ेगा.
Prabhuji.
Now
Yes,
that thing is
Prabhuji.
inside the body, उसको जल्दी फेंकना पड़ेगा. So therefore the intestine has to be small. So in that case they have small intestine, whereas our human body has long intestine. Small intestine is very long. uh, okay, we touched all that. Now we'll come to food in mode of goodness. Can you tell me which is mode of goodness food? Which are the foods in mode of goodness?
Fruits, vegetables.
Sattvic
Yeah,
food.
fruits, vegetables, grains, milk, ghee, right? So they make us, when we eat all these things, do we get drunkard? Do we lose our senses? Do we fall down? मैंने दूध पिया मैं गिर गया. Does it happen like that? I ate an apple and I fell down. I cannot walk. Does it happen like that? No, right? It gives us energy. Have you ever seen tennis players playing in a match? And whenever there is a break, what fruit they generally eat? I'll give you a hint. It is yellow in color.
Banana, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you will see tennis players eating banana. Why at that time they don't eat burger and pizza? Because they also know it's not that healthy. Okay. So that which is increasing, pleasing to the heart, purifies existence, etc., our happiness and satisfaction. Those are food in mode of goodness. Now we have to get transcend. We have to get over these three kinds of food. So which one will you choose? Now our aim is to get out of these three modes of food. Which one will you choose?
Prasadam, bro.
There is no prasadam in this list.
सात्विक फूड प्रभु जी, वो जो मतलब वेजिटेबल्स फूड.
Yeah, we'll choose the mode of goodness. But does that make us free from mode of goodness? Are we overcoming the mode of goodness? We
No.
overcome two modes, but we cannot overcome the third mode, that is goodness. So now how do we overcome it? You told me the answer. What is it?
और प्रसादम बनाने से, प्रसाद भगवान को भोग लगाने के
Yeah,
बाद वो
भगवान
जो
को
खाया
भोग चढ़ाने से. What does Krishna do when we offer it to him with love? What does he do?
He will glance on the food,
Yes.
and then it is offered to the Lord.
Yeah,
So
he
when
will
it
eat
is,
it. He will eat it through his eyes.
yes,
Then what happens?
then whatever is there, like whatever the small insects or whatever has been killed, uh, karma gets clear,
Okay,
and
karma gets cleared.
we get remnants of the Lord's food.
Yeah. So two things happen. Even getting this vegetarian food, we have to kill the plants, right? There may be some insects in it that may get killed when we wash it and all that. Agree. So there will be some sin, not bigger sin as killing animals, but some sin is there in killing plants. So Krishna glances it and he removes the sin. That is first thing. Second, he eats it and then he gives us back. So what is there in that food? Krishna's taste is there. Krishna ka jhuta is prasadam. We never say Krishna jhuta. What we say? We say prasadam. Why? Why we use the word prasadam and not अरे मैं कृष्णा का झूठा खा रहा हूँ? Why we don't say like that? The reason is Krishna is transcendental. Krishna is absolute. Krishna is param. Krishna is shuddha. There are two words that is used. I will just go quickly to Ishopanishad. Apapa Viddham and Ishopanishad. Yes. Apapa Viddham. Oh. Default. I cannot find it. Just a minute. Two words are used. Not this 14. Somehow this doesn't have Papa Vidham. Okay, it will take some time because I want to show you this. Just hold on. Antiseptic. Eight. Yeah, in verse number 8 it comes. Yeah, two words are used, Shuddham and Apapaviddham. Shuddham is antiseptic. Apapaviddham is prophylactic. This word is explained here. We'll just read that. Yeah. Shuddham means antiseptic, Apapaviddham is prophylactic. Antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching it. So food is purified by when Krishna touches it through his eyes. Prophylactic means power of association. Krishna's jhuta, that is there in the food. Then what happens? We get Krishna's association through that food. Sin cannot touch him. So just like sun extracts moisture from untouchable places like urine, and that whole place becomes clean again, right? Similarly, the Supreme Lord is able to purify everything. So where were we? Yeah. So these vegetarian food with some more detail, okay, without onion garlic, when we offer it to Krishna, then Krishna takes away the sin from it, gives his mercy through it, and we taste his love for us. Okay, and that makes us more Krishna conscious. Then is when we transcend the three modes and we go into Shuddha Sattva. So this is Sattva. There is another mode which is spiritual, which is called Shuddha Sattva. So now here when we are reading, you know, one who engages in full devotional service, means one who does bhakti yoga, always acting for Krishna. So now we took one activity, food, eating, and eating we directed it for Krishna, right? Then we became transcendental. Getting how to become transcendental of the three modes? We took one activity, eating, and we transcended it above the three modes. Any question? Any question? So like this, every activity we can take and we can transcend by directing it to Krishna. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. All these activities we can direct it to Krishna and we can transcend it. We won't remain under the three modes. Getting? Do you understand this point? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes? Okay. So this is how, this is how we transcend the three modes. We direct it to Krishna. And this Shastras say how to do it, and our Guru will tell how to do it. Okay? The Guru will tell how to do it. The other things are there, but we need some more clarification. Okay. Now we will where were we? Such personalities. Okay, now I want someone to read from here. One should also note that can someone read that from here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go ahead. Yeah.
One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge and internal. Such personalities of Godheads are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So, if one engages himself in the service of Krishna or his planetary expansion with unfalling determination, although these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, one can overcome them then easily. This has already explained in the seventh chapter. One who surrender unto Krishna at once already
Surmounts
surmounts the influence of mode of material nature. To be in Krishna consciousness or in
devotional service.
devotional service means to acquire equality with Krishna. The Lord says that His nature is internal, blissful, and full of knowledge, and the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme, as gold particles are part of gold mine. Thus, the living entity in this spiritual position is as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of the individuality
Continues.
continuous. Otherwise, there would be no question of bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means that the Lord is there, the devotee is there, and the activity of exchange of love between the Lord and the devotees is there. Therefore, the individuality of 2% is present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual person. Otherwise, there would be no meaning uh, to Bhakti Yoga. If one is not situated in the same transcendental position with the Lord, or one cannot serve the Supreme Lord. To be the personal assistant to a king, one should acquire the qualifications. Thus, the qualification is to become Brahman or freed from all
It
the
is not Brahman,
material
it is Brahman.
Brahman
Ah, Brahman.
contamination. or one should be free from all material contamination.
contamination.
If
Yes.
contamination. It is said in the Vedic literature, Brahminva son Brahmapi iti. One attained the supreme Brahman by becoming
Brahman, by becoming
Brahman.
Brahman.
Brahman. This means that one must qualitatively become one with Brahman. By attainment of Brahman, one does not lose his eternal
Brahman
Brahman
identity
identity,
as an individual soul.
individual soul.
Okay. He comes to the level of Brahman. Brahman means Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva means three modes are not there, and one is on the spiritual platform where modes are not acting on him. Okay. Now Krishna is already Para Brahman. Nothing touches him. Okay. No material thing touches him. No material thing can influence him. Now we have to come on the same level. So one example Prabhupada gives here is to be a personal assistant to the king, one must acquire the qualification. Okay. Example is given of the personal assistant and king. Now, the personal assistant, how does he live when he is with the king? Can anyone tell? King has few personal assistants.
Ministers, prime minister,
Yeah, yeah. How do they live when we are there with the king? They
as a
live
friend,
yeah,
or
yeah, as a friend and all that. That is there, but they live with the same facility as the king. What the king eats, they also eat, right? He goes in a palanquin, they also go in a palanquin. He is enjoying the same level as the king. Yes or not? Only thing, he has to acquire some qualification, and that qualification is that he is freed from all material contamination. See, there are two qualifications that are required to be a personal assistant of king. When we read it, what is that? No envy and does not hanker for anything. Can you explain me this with the concept of this personal assistant and king? He should not have envy to the king and he does not hanker for anything. Now let's say the personal assistant has envy to the king. What he will do eventually?
He would like to take the position of the king.
Yeah, he would like to do something hang. Okay. Now second
he will
thing,
kill the king or
he will
take
kill
all
the
the
king.
property.
Yes, exactly. If he hankers for anything, what the personal assistant will do?
Will try to steal from the king.
Yeah, he will try to steal from the king. Why? Because the king has it and he wants it. So he will steal from them. Now, you see how these two things are connected. This is the symptoms, right? Envy, no envy, and does not hanker for anything. So when they choose to someone to be the personal assistant of a king, then they have to acquire these two qualities: no envy and does not hanker for anything. Then they live exactly like a king, but they are not the king. Getting? You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
See, when Indira Gandhi had personal guards, what was the problem? Did they envy her? Did they
They
hanker for
were
something
angry
else?
with her.
Sorry?
They are angry with her
They were
because they
angry with her.
disturb
They
their
basically they had envy
religious.
for her and they hankered for anything else, and therefore, even though they were personal assistant and guards and all, she got killed, right? So you can see. So she got killed. Okay. So she got killed because the personal assistant had envy, right? So now you understand Now, if we are to become Brahman, which we are actually, Brahman we are, but when we go and associate with Krishna, we need that qualification. So we also don't need to have envy. We also don't need to have a hanker for anything else other than what? Other than serving Krishna. You see, the only hankering that a devotee has is that he wants to serve Krishna, please Krishna. He has no envy for Krishna. Krishna is there with thousands of Lakshmis. At least I should have one Lakshmi. He's not thinking like that, right? Ravana mentality he doesn't have. Why Lord Ram has Sita? I should have Sita. I am the king. That is not his mentality. So a devotee becomes Brahman when he gets that qualification. Okay, no envy, not hankering for anything, and then he becomes qualitatively one with the Brahman, with the supreme Brahman, that is Para Brahman, that is Krishna. Qualitatively he becomes one with supreme Brahman, and he does not lose his eternal identity. What becomes his eternal identity? Jivara Swarup hoye Krishnera Nitya Das. So his servantship is going on. Okay, why all this has been said? Because Krishna specifically uses the word devotional service. Let's say he didn't use this devotional service and he said you have to come to the level of Brahman. Well, what happens? What does it mean now? Let's say he didn't use this word devotional service and he said you have to come to the level of Brahman. Okay, no envy, not hankering for anything. Now what happens? Okay, this is a philosophical point. Okay, but it has okay, so moksha. So there are three types of moksha. Okay, there are three types of moksha. First is, let me expand this. First moksha is, so this is Krishna Lok, Vaikuntha planets. Okay, this whole thing is a Vaikuntha planet. In between this white thing that you see is called Brahma Jyoti. What is it called? Brahma Jyoti. If one doesn't do Bhakti Yoga, okay, and he merges into the Brahman, then he can merge into this Brahman, this white thing that we see in effulgence. We see that he merges into this Brahman. Okay, here he becomes one with the Brahman. Okay, his individuality remains, but still it is not easily detectable because everything becomes white, right? It's not easily detectable. It's like light, free from material modes. That's it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is what happens here. Now, when Krishna says Bhakti Yoga, he means that devotee who wants to cross this Brahma Jyoti and enter into the spiritual world and serve him in one of the dhams. Which dham? Vaikuntha planet, or Ayodhya dham, Dwarka dham, Mathura dham, Golok Vrindavan dham, or Mayapur dham. There he is one with quality in with Krishna, but his individuality remains. He's still an individual there, right? Isn't it? See, when husband and wife marry, when a man and a woman marry, what do we say? You have become one. Have they become one? Have they become one?
No,
Hus-
Prabhu.
Then why it is said one?
Their karmas are.
No, not karma. They have qualitatively become one, with together with one purpose. Right? We say one team. Team may have 2 people, 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. But we say one team, and then we say everyone has become one. Does the 50 people become one? No.
No.
Then what becomes one? सबका ध्यान एक हो जाता है,
Hmm.
सबका गोल एक हो जाता है, सबका एम एक हो जाता है, उसको कहते हैं oneness. When the goal, aim, purpose becomes one, then we call it qualitatively one. So what happens here is, in this Vaikuntha planets, everyone is here. 50,000, 100 million, billion, everybody is here. But everyone wants to serve Krishna. So they become one with Krishna. But their individuality remains. They don't merge into it. But what happens here in Brahmajyoti? They merge into it. Individuality remains, but it is very difficult to find it. Because kuch, you're not this das, that das. You have become what? Brahma Vilin. So in this, individuality remains, but it is difficult to find. You understand? So what happens is, those who aspire to be merging into Brahman, right, they say we become one with the Brahman. And externally it looks like that. If an aeroplane goes inside the sky, we think gone. Now the aeroplane has become the sky. Yes or no? Do we see it further? No.
No.
Then we think, okay, merge ho gaya abhi, cloud mein merge ho gaya. Externally it sounds right, but internally we know that the aeroplane is still there. Merge nahi hua hai. The cloud is so big that it has gone now. We cannot see it. Another example that acharyas give is, when a green parrot enters into a green tree. The moment it enters into green tree, अरे किधर गया? Where it is? Where I cannot be able to find. So externally we may say एक हो गया वो अभी, झाड़ से एक हो गया वो, इतना ग्रीन ग्रीन की बस सब कुछ ग्रीन ही दिखा रहा है, वो किधर है? But if we carefully see, then we can find that bird. Oh, he is sitting there. You see, he is sitting there. So like that. So in Brahma Jyoti, right, they become one and they still remain separate, but it becomes so difficult to identify. But when they reach the Golok Vrindavan, when they reach Ayodhya Dham, Dwarka Dham, they are individual. How are they individual? Because they become servant. Servant is individual, right? Servant is individual. In Brahma Jyoti, there is no servant, there is nothing, everything becomes one. But here, the Jivatma maintains his individuality, becoming the Das of the Lord. Like Hanuman, he is one of the servant of the Lord. Arjuna, he is one of the friend of the Lord. Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Devaki, Vasudev, they are parents of the Lord. So their individuality is maintaining. So when Krishna uses Bhakti Yoga, he mentions this place. Okay, he is mentioning within Vaikuntha planets. And when he doesn't mention anything, then one can put any meaning to it. Brahma Jyoti also, Vaikuntha planets also. So that's why we see one Acharya giving only definition of Brahma Jyoti. But when Krishna uses Bhakti Yoga, he cannot give this Brahma Jyoti as the example. He has to give Vaikuntha Loka. Because in Brahma Jyoti there is no Bhakti. The only Bhakti is happening in Vaikuntha Loka. So that is the reason why Prabhupada is giving such a big purport to it, and making us understand what does this whole thing means. Because the word Brahman is used, right, it could mean two things. One is you merge into Brahman. Second is you go through Brahman and enter into Vaikuntha planets. But which Brahman is Krishna talking here? That is qualified by this devotional service. He uses the word Bhaktya. Okay, he uses this word Bhaktya. Bhaktya mam abhijananti. Bhakti yogena sevate. 26, right? We are reading this. So when he uses the Bhakti, here the Brahman does not mean Brahma Jyoti. It means Vaikuntha planets. Otherwise, how can you do Bhakti? A Bhakta cannot do anything in Brahma Jyoti. Can he do? He has to be in some loka. So that's it. He has to be in Vaikuntha Loka. That's why this whole verse means that that he is serving Krishna. Okay. Okay. So now we went through lot, and okay, here this 26 we finished, right? Oh. Now 27, Krishna says, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Okay, now Krishna, okay, in Bhakti Yoga bol diya to it is Vaikuntha Loka. Now this Brahman is there, this Brahma Jyoti is still there. So now Krishna is telling what happens to the Brahma Jyoti. I mean, what happens in sense, what to speak of that Brahma Jyoti, which is there. So Krishna says that Brahma Jyoti comes from me. I am the basis of it. We'll go to the exact shloka. Next. Brahmano hi pratishthaham amritasya avasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya.
ಪೂರ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಿದ್ನ ಪಪ್ಪಾಗೆಲ್ಲ.
Okay. Brahmano hi pratishtham amritavasya shashvatasya dharmasya sukhaita ekatantasya cha. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, eternal, and is the constitutional position of the ultimate happiness. So this Brahma Jyoti is there, and Krishna says, I am the basis of it. Aham, I am. Dharmasya, Pratishtha. Pratishtha means rest. Something is resting on Krishna, like that, or something is coming out of Krishna. It means two things. Okay. This Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence that is coming out from the body of Krishna. That's what Krishna is trying to say. Brahman is the beginning of transcendental realization. Paramatma, the super soul, is the middle second stage in transcendental realization. And the Bhagwan, which is Supreme Personal Godhead, is the ultimate realization of absolute truth, which only happens in Vaikuntha Loka. Therefore, both Paramatma and impersonal Brahman are within the Supreme Person. The servant, now I was talking about this example. The servant of the king enjoys on the almost equal level with the king. This is I was trying to explain. Those who live like those who are with the king, right? They travel in the same aeroplane and vehicle, right? They eat the same food as the king. Yes or no? So those who are in Vaikuntha Loka, they enjoy the same way as Krishna is enjoying. And so eternal happiness, imperishable happiness, and eternal life accompanies devotional service. So when we are with Krishna, these things happen. Eternal happiness happens, immeasurable happiness happens. Two things happens, okay? Happiness is eternal, meaning there is no breakage in it. It just goes on and on and on. Imperishable. Imperishable means it doesn't get destroyed at all. Eternal life accompanies. Eternal life means there is no death. Therefore, realization of Brahman or eternity or imperishability is included in devotional service. See, Brahman, this Brahma Jyoti is eternality. Okay. There is no destruction. There is eternal. This is what Brahman is. Now, when we are in devotional service, we get it. We get one more thing out of it, that is happiness. We get happiness, which in Brahman we get peace. We may not get happiness, but we will get peace. But here in service to the Lord, we'll get bliss. That is happiness. Pure happiness we'll get. Okay. Now, we have to do Bhakti Yoga. So now what it is? This whole section will explain. But devotional service to the Lord is very simple. It is very simple. Okay, what it is? One should always engage in the service of the Lord. One should eat the remnants of the food offered to the deity. This we discussed a lot, right? How to overcome the food which is in the mode, which is in Sattva Guna, overcome it by offering to the Lord and become prasadam, and then it transcends the three modes. Smell the flowers offered to lotus feet of the Lord. Flowers, smell, scent. How to make it transcendental? You smell the flowers which are offered to the Lord. See the places where Lord has performed his transcendental pastimes. We want to go places. We want to go to picnic and all that. We go to holy places and we rectify that mode. We transcend the three modes by visiting the three holy places. Read the different activities of the Lord by reading Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures where the activities of the Lord are said. Our innate desire to read is transcended by the three modes, right? When we connect it with the Lord, his reciprocation of love with the devotees, we read all this and chant the holy name, that that is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And observe the fasting days like Ekadashi, Janmashtami, like that. And by following such process, one becomes completely detached from material activities. One who can thus situate himself in Brahma Jyoti or different varieties of Brahman conception is equal to the Supreme Lord in quality. This is how we come to the platform of Brahman, by following all this. Who gives us all these interesting details? I told you. Who gives us all these interesting details? To do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. Any answer?
From Shastra.
Shastra is fine,
Guru?
but do we ever read Shastra? We
No.
read, sometimes
Guru
we read.
Prabhuji.
But, huh?
Guru.
Guru, yes.
Guru?
That's the thing. Gradually by association of an influence of spiritual master, one's material desire to dominate is removed and one becomes firmly situated in Krishna's loving service. So that's why I was saying in the before that to transcend the three modes, we need the help of Guru. This is why, because he will tell what to do, what not to do, how to do, and in doing that, he will connect us with Krishna in such a way that we will come to the platform of Brahman, pure Shuddha Sattva. Okay. Any questions? Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, I had two questions. One was what is Brahma Jyoti, that you already answered, that is effulgent coming from the Krishna. And
Yeah.
second is, Prabhu, that the souls who reach the Brahma Jyoti, okay, so they also come down to take rebirth because they have not reached Vaikuntha, right?
Okay. So this is what Srila Prabhupada has said to us, that someone in the Brahma Jyoti will come down. But yeah, the thing is, till now, Shastras, some devotees have not read it in the Shastras that one will fall down from Brahma Jyoti or what. Within the three world, if one achieves Brahman, by becoming no envy and not hankering for anything, okay, that one can achieve in the material world also. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. But that can be achieved without devotional service also. Okay, without devotional service also one can achieve it.
Yes.
Such people can come down and leave that position of Brahman. Why? Because they don't know what to do after that. The soul wants to be active, and now they left everything and they are becoming completely inactive, and then they will achieve peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And then after peace, what happens? You want to be active again, but they don't know what to do, so they will control their activity. मेरे को कुछ activity नहीं करना है, like that. And sometimes they will fail in doing that. Then they will start doing something. They get vibhutis, na. You can become bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest. You can go these places, that places, prapti and all that. They start using all that.
Okay.
But then they lose the spiritual, what you say, the focus, because they have not taken to the devotion. So that one thing Shastras say, that if you have achieved the Brahman level within the material world, then there's a chance that if you don't take to the devotional service, then there's a chance that you will leave that Brahman. Okay. Yeah. So devotees who have read and they're scholarly, they have said that if they reach this Brahma Jyotina, the Shastra don't say they will fall.
Okay.
But within the material world, if they reach the Brahman level, see, because Krishna says, right, within this life also you can become, you can come to the level of Brahman. We read that, right? I'll just show you. Yeah, you can enjoy nectar even in this life, meaning they have not reached the Brahma Jyoti, but they have reached the level of Brahman while living in this material body. Getting?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, these people can fall down because they don't know what to do after getting peace. They will struggle after that. So in this regard, Sukdev Goswami was like that. Before that, he had achieved the Brahman level. Okay. And then because of great mercy, he heard the pastimes of Krishna, and then the devotion service within him arose, and he became a pure devotee. Till that point, he was pure Brahman only. The other example are the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras were not doing devotional service. They were on the Brahman platform. But when they met the Lord in Vaikuntha and they smelled the tulsi leaf, then within their heart, bhakti arose. Till that point, it was not there. So, like that happens, that one has to be very, one should be very lucky to become. Otherwise, what happens is they perfect their life and they go and merge in the Brahman and they remain in the Brahman. It's like that.
Okay, bro.
Okay. Any other question or comment? See, this so-called, the so-called spiritualists are there, right? Who are saying Aham Brahmasmi, Soham, Soham. If you have ever gone to some other spiritual organizations, right? Um, they are also aiming for Brahma Jyoti. Okay, they are not aiming for Bhakti Yoga. They may do some Bhakti Yoga to help in that process, to help in that journey to go into Brahma Jyoti. They may use that. They may use some Bhakti, but that is not the purpose of using Bhakti. Okay, and you will see that in that whole process, they will start doing something else only. Altruism. They will open hospitals and so many other things they will do. The reason is the soul is always active. So when it reaches some peaceful state, it wants to do something. So they will start doing all these things, altruism and all that. In that, they will leave. They will lose their spiritual focus. Now that focus has become what? Social service. So that's a problem with those who aspire to merge into Brahman. Okay, that is a problem. That if they come to that level, then they don't know what to do with their innate desire to become active. Okay, they don't know what to do. Uh, very few find it successful. Like I told you about Sukhdev Goswami and Kumaras, four Kumaras. Now, if you go and look into their life, now they didn't do much. They didn't open hospitals and all that, right? They didn't go to altruism because they knew how to handle that situation. But most of others will fail. It's not that easy. Krishna says this in 12th chapter. Did we do 12th chapter? No, right? We started from 13th, right? Huh? So Krishna says this here. ये तव अक्षरम अनिद्रेशम अव्यक्तम परुपाशते सर्वत्रकम अचिंत्यम स कूटस्थम अचलम ध्रुवम संन्यामेन्द्रिय ग्राम सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ते एव सर्वभूते इतरता. So what happens is Arjuna asked this question. What question he asked? एवं सतत युक्ताये भक्तस्तम परुपाशते ये चापि अक्षरम अव्ययम तेषाम के योग वित्तमः. So one he says, is bhakti important? I mean, is bhakti the best thing to do or aksharam? Aksharam is Brahma Jyoti. Is going through this aksharam avyaktam, that is best. Tell me, which is best? Bhakta is active or aksharam? So Krishna says bhakti is best. But before that he says, what is the problem with aksharam? What he says? Those who worship the unmanifested. See, unmanifested means if you look at this picture also, no, you will understand what it is. What do you really call this space?
World.
Unmanifested, right? It's like a sky. It's like light. उसमें ना कुछ form है ना कुछ है ना कुछ भी है. So it is kind of unmanifested. Manifest का मतलब it has taken some form. You can identify it with some name. What can you say to the light? It is just bright. That's it. You can say anything else? No. So Krishna said avyakta. Unmanifest. It lies beyond the perception of senses, all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, immovable. The impersonal conception of the absolute truth, meaning it is one of the truths of absolute truth, that it is impersonal. By controlling the various senses and being equally deposed to everyone, such person engaged in welfare of all at last achieve me. Now Krishna says, what happened? how easy or difficult is the process. So he says, for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, meaning those who want to go to this Aksharam Brahma Jyoti, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. The word that he uses is klesha. Klesha adikta tarastesha. Trouble. It is very troublesome. To make that progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So that is the difficulty. They may achieve it and they may again fall. Okay. So that is the pure Gyan Yogi Marga. Pure Gyan Yogi Marga. They achieve this Brahma Jyoti. But most of the time it is the Bhakti Yogis and Karma Yogis only mentioned for us. Let's see, sixth verse. Sixth verse, we'll just read this and end. For those who worship me, giving up their activities onto me. See, Prabhupada is saying, right, we have to act for Krishna. So, our activities we are giving to Krishna and being devoted to me without deviation, pure devotion service, engage in pure devotion service, and always meditating of me, having their mind fixed upon me. Our mind is fixed upon Krishna. O son of Rita, I am the swift deliverer of ocean and birth. So for devotees, what happens? Deliverer of birth and death, swift deliverer. So one crosses this Brahmajyoti, goes into Vaikuntha planets. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu, got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
So that's how Bhakti Yoga is a very safe path. It is so safe that even if a person does abominable activity, is to be considered saintly. You have read this, no? Wait, where it is? Okay, that's in 9th chapter. Sorry, we are going behind. Abominable. Even if one commits abominable action by accident, but a person in devotion service, a bhakta, is considered saintly. Why? Chipram bhavati dharmatma. He quickly become righteous and it takes lasting peace. A devotee never perishes, but one who seeks Brahmajyoti can get destroyed. Okay, that can happen. But a devotee, even if he performs abnormal activity, he will quickly become righteous and he will not get destroyed. He will achieve, finally he will achieve success somehow or the other. Okay, so we discussed some things. Now any last question or comment, or can we close?
Prabhu, thanks for
Yeah.
taking the classes, Prabhu. We are able to do our syllabus, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol.